What happens when we go for a cave dive with world-famous cave explorer Robbie Schmidtner? And what will be the gigantic reward at the end of our adventure? More people have been in outer space than in today's dive site. In today's episode on the Dive SAGA channel. Over the last few episodes here on the Dive SAGA channel, we have learned about the Sac Actun underwater cave system. We have learned about underwater geology and even found remains of extinct creatures from before the last ice age. One of the explorers who helped connect Sac Actun with Dos Ojos and thus temporarily forming the longest underwater cave system on the planet is Robbie Schmidtner.
All right, one last try, I guess. Robbie, tell me, how do you find a place like this?
Well, there was this big black spot on the map where all cave went around, and I said, if there's all cave around, there can't be in that big, in this spot there's no cave. So I started walking, looking for cenotes, and found plenty.
Oh, walking.
Yeah, just go.
Not driving. Not driving.
No.
This was after the fact. I mean, we haven't even dived yet, and I'm already impressed.
What I don't know is that I'm about to be impressed 100 times more, as Robbie is bringing us to one of his personal mind-blowing discoveries, visited by fewer people than outer space. But getting there isn't exactly easy. The suspension of our land cruiser is making us work for today's treasure.
While Robbie works on our suspension, that's the perfect moment to actually tell you about the sponsor of this episode, which is ADEX Ocean Festival. So ADEX is the longest running and largest scuba diving trade show in Asia, and it has many different locations like Singapore, Shanghai, Beijing, and even Sydney. I will actually be attending ADEX Singapore, which runs from April 4 to 6 in Singapore, obviously, and of course I would love you to visit with me. So I will put a link below so you can buy your tickets for ADEX Singapore. And we're back in business, Robbie? Almost. So you should come to ADEX. I can talk a little bit longer about ADEX Ocean Festival in Singapore from April 4 to 6. Join me.
Luckily, Robbie has us back up and running in no time, on our way to his secret location.
I would love to say that Robbie fixed the suspension, but in a much more real sense, Robbie decided to just go without the suspension. I think you don't become a world-famous cave explorer if you give up easily.
You cannot.
You cannot. So here we are.
You have to do what you have to do.
You have to do what you have to do. And so our next step is to set up shop in the middle of the jungle. We have to prepare thoroughly for what is about to be a 2.5 hour long dive in this remote location. So safety is key. From here, all the cylinders need to be transported by foot through the jungle and brought down into the cenote. It is this small crack in the jungle floor that Robbie discovered when he was exploring. After several exploration dives about an hour underwater from here, he found something magical.
You get to this place where it's like two
big columns, and it's like a gate, and behind it's just pitch black. There's like nothing anymore. It's like going out to the space, you know? There's no more floor, there's no walls, there's no ceiling. It's just here and there some like big stalactites hanging through the black. And it's just like, whoa, floating out there. Amazing, no?
Robbie has found a portal to outer space, right here in this tiny mud puddle that is so shallow that we have to gear up on our knees. All this gear movement in shallow water also means we have to start our dive in low visibility and make contact with the line until we can see. Luckily, we soon make our way into deeper, crystal clear water. I immediately noticed that this cave is much more pristine than many others in the region. Robbie is the only person who really knows this cave inside out, since he is the one who discovered it. Of course, he doesn't own the land, but he has built a good relationship with the owners. This enables Robbie to visit this place from time to time. Apparently, we are part of a select group of cave divers that Robbie has taken to his discovery. The cave is expansive, so we have to navigate our way along the line and its many T's and jumps that lead towards Robbie's space portal. We've spoken at length about cave geology in previous episodes, but this cave is something else. It's incredibly ornate and pure. Robbie leads us through a complex maze of chambers and passages. I can see why this place took months to explore, and I can only imagine the thrill of knowing you are the first person in several millennia, or maybe ever, to lay eyes upon a place. Half an hour into the dive, the cave starts to get so decorated and restrictive that we have to find a place to stage one of our cylinders. Most of us are on open circuit, and while this is possible to do safely, it does require a thorough gas management plan. On the way out, we will of course retrieve these cylinders. From here on, we are about 25 minutes away from Robbie's space portal. These ridges on the floor are the outline of pools of water from when the cave was dry, thousands of years ago. After this passage, Robbie takes a pause, because we have reached the portal. In a few seconds from now, my life will never be the same again. We fire up as many lights as we can and follow Robbie into space. As a team, we are carrying over 160,000 lumens of light. But no matter where we position ourselves, we can barely light a small fraction of this colossal space. This chamber is so large, so wide, and so deep that it is almost vertigo-inducing. It's hard to grasp the scale, but I do understand what Robbie means. This feels like outer space. And it is in this exact moment, right here, that I realized this is the coolest dive I've ever done. We are an hour into a cave in one of the largest underwater chambers anyone has ever seen. And while Robbie likens it to outer space, it's worth noting that right now, a little over 600 people have actually been to outer space. But according to Robbie, less than 100 have been right here. I don't know if anyone will truly ever be able to capture the scope of this place. No matter where we are in the chamber, we are surrounded by a black void. The maximum depth of the sloping bottom is around 65 meters, 200 feet, and I would estimate the diameter around 90 meters, 300 feet. As we shallow up, massive stalactites are piercing down from the ceiling, many times larger than ourselves. Eventually, it's time to swim across the chamber towards the strobe light we placed by the portal. We are 82 minutes into the dive and have about an hour of diving ahead of us to get back to our exit. Yup, my mind is properly blown. Although a dive like this is tiring, I spend the whole way back with a smile on my face. We retrieve our cylinders and soldier on through the galleries and passageways. Back through our low visibility entrance chute to the surface and back on our knees in the tiny cenote.
Good, guys?
Wow. 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 Wow.
I would love to extend my extreme gratitude to my teammates Carolina, Gabby, and Damien. But above all, I want to thank Robbie Schmittner for showing us his portal to outer space. Mankind is at its best when people, like Robbie, decide to push the envelope and go where no one has been before. It allows us to perfect our methods and to learn about our planet and ourselves.